Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future homebuyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of homeownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923. AnyMac Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC, DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage. Lo-Fi Direct. Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent, License Lender, Broker Number ML 338923. Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License Number MC 338923. Rhode Island License Lender, License Number 2011280L. Call for additional details.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach in college basketball, hands down.
Fins 2 for 3. He's done his part.
Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the poles, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
You're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
RJ, I'm Steve Risser along here with Justin Nuffio, and how about those Phillies? They just can't lose in this ballpark. They didn't lose in this ballpark in the division series of the LCS last year, and they didn't lose in the wild card round, the division series, and as of right now, the LCS this year. This Phillies team has been outstanding so far. The offense, the home runs has just been just ridiculous. I mean, Schwarber last night, you had Castellanos against the Braves, and he had a home run against the Diamondback. Trey Turner. I mean, it's just all throughout the lineup, this team has been hitting. They win last night 10-0. They go up 2-0. They get great starts from Wheeler, and they get a good start from Wheeler, great start from Noel last night. Right now, it's looking like the Phillies are the favorite to win it all. And I don't think any team is winning in that ballpark the way that they're playing right now.
I'm with you. It's one of the best home field advantages in all sports right now. With that fan base, with that crowd, and yeah, that's not an easy place to win, and you're really seeing it right now. And yeah, it looked like Arizona was just totally overmatched, and they got to their Merrick Kelly pitched pretty well. Like, he wasn't horrible, but yeah, they jumped on him early, and yeah, the home run balls, and I think now and then when in the postseason so far, the team that hits more home runs than their opponents, like 17-2. It's something like it. So they've been much, so the home run ball has been huge, especially for the Phillies. And yeah, Castellanos, he's batting the 7th hole, and he's still like a dangerous hitter. Like, there's just no holes in this lineup. And yeah, the poor D-backs, it's been a heck of a run, but they just look so overmatched right now.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And Gallen was okay last night, but yeah, they're totally overmatched against this Phillies lineup, which once everyone got hot is one of the best. I think right behind the Braves, one of the best in baseball. Once everyone started getting hot, because at the beginning of the year, the thing with the Phillies was Harper was hurt, Turner was not playing well at all. And ever since that standing ovation the Philly fans gave him, Turner started to hit well, and this lineup has taken off, and this team has taken off. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. And the big question is now is, what do the Phillies got to do to put this series away? And number one, just keep hitting home runs. 19 home runs already in the postseason. Just keep hitting home runs. And number two, keep getting good starts. You keep hitting home runs, keep getting good starting pitching. Their questionable bullpen isn't even going to matter, because right now this team just can't lose.
No, they can't. Yeah, Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, you just knocked out their yeah. Like my first one was that you just knocked out their two best pitchers. Like get on Brendan Font on Thursday night. Like that's a guy you should be able to destroy. And Ranger Suarez has been pretty good so far in the postseason. So yeah, like they got the edge there. And then I have the same other ones. So yeah, continue just mash. And then Phillies bullpen just they've been pretty well. That like I'm waiting for that one Greg Kimball game, a blow up. But yeah, like if that and the bullpen could kind of shut things down late in the game because their rotation's been really good. And yeah, like the Phillies right now, they're in great shape. And yeah, like the Rangers are playing really, really well too. But yeah, it's going to be tough for anybody to go in that ballpark and knock off Philadelphia.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think this team is going to cruise in the series, but we got to talk about what the Diamondbacks got to do to try to get back into the series. And number one, they need to get more from their top six hitters. They need to get more from Carroll, Marte, Walker. Now, Marte had a good night last night; he had 2 hits, but Carroll, Gurriel, Marte, Marino. They got to get Walker. They got to get more out of those guys. And if they don't, there's no way they're going to be done in 5 games. And then number two, they got to get better starting pitching. I mean, the starting pitching's got to be better, and it's going to be tough for that to be better because their top 2 starters pitched in games 1 and 2. And then number 3, their bullpen can't implode like it did last night. But let's be honest, the Diamondbacks are really facing an uphill battle against this Phillies team.
Yeah, for the D-backs, my one is, going back to like game 1, Carroll got that base hit back in game 1, and they didn't even try to attempt to even steal base. Like when they get guys on, they got try to generate a stolen base or something, try to move somebody over. Like you know, they haven't been hitting great. Like last night, they kind of struggled to bat. So like you got to kind of they're one of the leaders in stolen bases a lot in this season. So I feel like when you get guys on that could kind of steal a base, you got to attempt 1 or 2 of them. Try to move runners over right now to just try to get a couple guys in scoring position. And then yeah, number 2, the offense has just got to as a whole's got to pick it up. They last night was a big struggle for them. Even game 1, they only had 4 hits. Like they kind of got their opportunity. They knocked them in when they had them, but they gotta be better. And because the way the Phillies offense is hitting right now, they got to be able to put up some runs. And the offense so far right now is has looked like it's cooled off immensely right now.
Yeah, they're not hitting the way they did in the Dodgers series. Definitely, they got to do that when they come back home, or they're going to have absolutely no chance to get back to Philly. But for this series, I think the Phillies win this in 5. I think it's another NLCS where they cruise. I think they win it in 5, and they get to their second straight World Series.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna go 4 games though. I think it's a sweep.
Wow.
I just the way they got the Gallen and Kelly, I don't know how Arizona's gonna be able to get this. And I know Walker, Philly will have Walker going game 4. I think right now for like it's Ryan Nelson for the D-backs who came relief in game 1. I think is their problem right now. Like I think the Phillies get the Fott, who's not great, and I think they'll be able to get to Nelson if that's the starter on Friday night. And I think the Phillies are gonna cruise. And I don't really the way the Phillies are playing right now. It's just I think Arizona's gonna have a tough time. They're not a great team. They've had a really good year. They've had it's a nice year. Corey Carroll, they've made a nice run here in the postseason, but they've met their match here.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like the Diamondbacks will go out in 4 or 5. Now we both think the Phillies are going to go on to their second straight World Series. The big question is who will they play? And it doesn't look like it's going to be a rematch because right now the Rangers are up on the Astros 2-0, and they won 2 of those games in Houston. So the Rangers, they've been just like the Phillies. The Rangers have been red hot. They've won 7 straight games in the postseason, taking out the two AL East teams, taking out the Rays in the first round, in the wild card round, and the Orioles in 3 in the division series, and now up 2-0 on the Astros. But we'll start with the defending champion Houston Astros. And the big question for them is what do they need to do to get back in the series? And first, they need really outside of Alvarez, their top hitters. They need Tucker, Altuve, Bregman, and even Abreu in this series be better because that's been a big issue. I mean, the only reason they were in the game on Monday night was because of Alvarez. Alvarez hit those 2 home runs. If it wasn't for Alvarez, they wouldn't even have been in that game against the Rangers. So, yeah, I think that that has to happen for them to for them to have a chance to get back in the series. And then number two, they just need better starting pitching. Their starter I mean, he was just terrible. Valdez, yeah, Valdez was awful. Was awful on Monday night, and then Verlander was decent, but Valdez was just awful. They just need better starting pitching. But mainly, it's got to be those bats. It's got to be those bats in the top of that lineup. And if those bats don't hit, Houston will not be in the World Series this year. It'll be the first time they'll be watching the World Series since 2020.
Yeah. For Houston right now, the bats, you look at it. Jose Altuve's batting 162 so far in the postseason. Tucker, I think, is 191. Bregman's only around 215. Alvarez has been really good, but they need the top of that lineup to kind of start getting guys on base. And, you're facing a guy in Max Scherzer who hasn't pitched in a month tonight and who's been very up and down. So this is a guy you got to kind of hit here and kind of get a couple runs here early on, early get a jump on this Texas team. And, my other key was the Astros have been great on the road this year. They're 23 games over 500 away from home, and they're 5 games under at home. Like they've been really good on the road this year. I'm not shocked that that's the type of team that's kind of they're with everything with after the 2017 kind of cheating scandal. That's a team that I think they kind of like that environment, being on the road, being booed and all that. So I think they'll play better on the road, but they got to kind of jump on them tonight. They've been a better road team, and they got to get out to kind of a fast start this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. They got to get off to a fast start on the road. It'll be key for them. And you talked about them, the home and road. Yeah, they did lose a home game in that Twin Series, and they won 2 games on the road in the Minnesota Series. So we'll see. Yeah, this team has been better when their backs have been against the wall on the road. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But it's got to start tonight. It's got to start tonight against Max Scherzer because, yeah, Matt, you said Max Scherzer hasn't pitched in a while. They got to get off to a fast start tonight, or I think it's going to be a long night and probably series over for the Houston Astros.
Yeah, it absolutely will be. And, if they lose tonight, they've been to 2 straight World Series. They've won they've been the ALCS to the last 7 years. I think they lose 7. Yeah. I think you see if they lose tonight, they kind of go, all right, guys, we've done this so often. Let's pack it up. Let's get the golf clubs ready. Let's get the offseason going. I don't see this team battling back down 3-0. It's not a team, it's a team that's won multiple times. So, if they lose tonight, I think this thing's over tomorrow. But
tonight's
they win tonight, maybe. Yeah.
I think if they win tonight, we got ourselves a series. If they don't, you said it. It's over.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you just said. So, I think, tonight's a big one. And, should be a good one. Should be a good one because, Javier's pitched really well for the Astros.
Alrighty, so we'll move on to the Rangers, and I think the biggest key for them to put the series away is continue to get good starting pitching. They've had good. The first 2 starts were really, really good. Montgomery was great in game 1. Eovaldi was really good in game 2. Just continue to get good starting pitching. Yeah, and Brian Cashman, thanks a lot for the Jordan Montgomery thing. Unbelievable there. That's another story there. And it shows you why a team we root for in baseball is it's just an absolute disaster right now. But thanks a lot for the Jordan Montgomery thing. But Montgomery was good. He's been good all postseason. He was good in game 1. You had Eovaldi good in game 2, and we'll see what Scherzer does. We'll see what Scherzer does in his return. It'll be very interesting to see what Scherzer does tonight in his return. And also, just continue to go off to a quick start. That first inning set the tone for that game. It got the Astros on their heels. It set the tone for that game, putting up a 4 spot in the first inning against the Astros, and that set the tone for that entire game. And also, continue to have the 8th and 9th inning guys. Chapman's pitched really well for them in the postseason, and so is their. And I'm trying to remember their closer's name, but he's pitched well too. And that was a weakness. And that was a weakness during the year.
Yeah, it's like Leclerc. Right?
Leclerc and Chapman.
Leclerc, I think.
Leclerc and Chapman, they pitched really well. Yeah. So just continue to have the 8th and 9th inning guys pitch well. And there's just no way if all those 3 things happen, the Astros are going home. The Astros are going home, and I don't think I think the series will be over in 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, I agree. The starting pitching's been awesome. Montgomery, and I don't want to turn this into Yankee states, but how did this guy not be able to get the ball in the postseason? The Yankees did not want to start him in the post. I don't get it. The Yankees want to sign him back, I guess. Why would?
Of course, because they want. If I'm him, I don't re-sign back with the Yankees. You already
No, I
traded
wouldn't
me
either.
in a year where we could have won the
Yeah.
World Series. I would not re-sign with them.
No, me neither. That's why I'm a little odd when I saw the Yankees would be on this list of suitors. But yeah, Montgomery's been good. Like even, we'll see. Scherzer hasn't been great the last couple postseasons, but maybe a month off helped him here. Like if you can get a dominant Max Scherzer, you're in really good shape tonight or for the rest of postseason. So yeah, they continue to get the starting pitching's been great. They'll be in good shape. Yeah, I had the bullpen as well. Chapman's that one. What game one was against Alvarez, where it's like, oh, that's gonna be gone. It just it was on the warning track. The way they kind of the camera angle there made it look like it was gonna be gone. But yeah, I've been surprised. Chapman's looked actually pretty good. I'm kind of waiting for his blow up as well. But yeah, that was their big thing, and that's why they kind of blew some games there. They lost like 16 out of 20, I think, at one point. And then finally, and then lastly with the lineup, like Seager's been the leader. He's batting .391 this postseason. He's been awesome. If he played 162 games, he didn't get hurt, he would have gave Ohtani a run for the money for MVP. He had that great of a year.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been an awesome signing. Like the rest of that lineup too. Like Evan Carter's really stepped up and played well this postseason. Up and down that lineup, they've been really, really good. And yeah, if they continue to kind of the bats stay hot, that it's going to be very tough for Houston to get out of this hole.
Absolutely. So it should be interesting to see what happens. You got Game 3 tonight between the Rangers and Astros at Globe Life Field in Arlington. So we'll see what happens there. But we got to talk about some baseball news, some surprising news as Kim Ning and the Marlins have parted ways. And this is I mean, let's just say, with the team she's parting ways with, this isn't really a surprise because we know the Marlins just have a weird way of doing business. But she's done a great job with this team. She's done a phenomenal job. She got this team to the playoffs this year. And now they're parting ways? I mean, it just shows you this organization has no idea what they're doing. They have no clue what they're doing. They finally get a good GM, really good GM that's committed to building this team going forward and got them to the playoffs. And this is what happens. This is an absolute disgrace and an embarrassment for the Marlins organization. They allowed this to happen and allowed her to go free. And if you're the Red Sox, you are on the phone with her right now and you are hiring her. If you're John Henry, you are on the phone, or Sam Kennedy, you are on the phone with Kim Ning right now hiring her.
You would think. I haven't seen their name pop up, but I would think, because I know there's been people backing or like have turned down the Red Sox job. So I know that right now they're kind of, there's been a couple names out there, but like guys, we'll see. But yeah, like it seems like too, on what I've read, that they wanted to hire a baseball ops person and she would have been the number 2. And yeah, I don't blame her. Like get that team in postseason.
Why would you do that? Why would you want to do that?
I don't know. You mentioned that's the Marlins. They don't really, I think their value, I saw in like Forbes, like they're worse valued wise than like the A's. Like it's not a great franchise. They've never been. They don't want to spend ever. That ballpark, I've heard. Have you been to that ballpark?
I've never been.
Have you been there yet? Okay, I know. Okay, like I know. I've heard it's not in a great spot either. They don't draw anybody. Like, yeah, it's not a great franchise. It's not a great play, But yeah, it's a little surprising. But yeah, I don't blame her for not wanting to be the number 2 here after just making a postseason with that team and finding a way in that division. I know they took advantage of the Mets being poor, but yeah, I just again she'll find another job somewhere. Yeah, it would be smart the Red Sox go out, but who knows? Maybe her name pops up in a couple of days or so with the Red Sox. But yeah, it was weird, and yeah, that's the Marlins. Just I know teams want to start hiring these baseball ops guys, but yeah, after just getting her to postseason with that, I don't see the need. It was a weird thing when I read it Monday to see that they parted ways.
Yeah, it's absurd. But it just tells you everything you need to know about the Marlin organization. They're just completely dysfunctional. But we got a huge game in the Horseshoe this weekend. We got a huge game in the Horseshoe this weekend. But before we talk about that, we're going to hear from our friends at JPEG Financial and Shamrock Home Inspections.
Do you have a 401k and some savings for future retirement, but don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? How often are you thinking about it? The team at JPEG's Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies in the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident in your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website and give us a call at 860-430-5397. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. JPEX Financial Group, LLC is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services. JPEX Financial Group is located at 78 Eastern Boulevard, Glastonbury, Connecticut. There's no bigger investment than home ownership. And to make sure the house is up to your standards, you need a professional to look it over. Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections is a licensed home inspector and a member of the Connecticut Association of Home Inspectors. Brian was a contractor for over 15 years, so he knows how homes should be constructed and how mechanicals should work.
What makes me a good home inspector was the 20 years that I was a home improvement person, doing all the different repairs that I have done and what other people have done wrong that I had to go out and fix. So I have a pretty quick eye on seeing what's right and what's wrong. Before you move, call Shamrock Home Inspections.
Before you make the biggest investment of your life, call Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections at 860-268-2566 or visit shamrockhomeinspectionct.com.
All righty, so we got a big one in the horseshoe this week as Penn State takes on Ohio State. And let me tell you something. This is a game James Franklin has got to win. He is 1-8. 1-8 against Ohio State. This has been his biggest problem. He can't beat the good teams. He's really good against the teams that he should beat, but he has a lot of trouble against the good teams. This is a spot where this is a humongous game for this program to win. And it's a huge game for Penn State here at Ohio State in the horseshoe, where I feel like they're as good as Ohio State, to be honest. Their defense has played really well. They got a really good running game with Nicholas Singleton. Drew Aller has played well, getting the ball to Lambert Smith. I think this Penn State team, I know they really haven't played anyone. I know they played UMass, but they dominated UMass. They've won every game by 2 scores at least. I think they've won every game by at least 17 points. If you look at the Illinois game, it was probably the closest game they had all year. Now, the toughest game was, for some reason, Northwestern, when they came out flat in the first half. But I think this is going to be – I think for this game, this is going to be a really, really good game. I think this is going to be an intense game. But I think the difference in this game is going to be I'll take Drew Aller. I like Drew Aller over Kyle McCord. I think the running game of Penn State's going to be better, too. I think Nicholas Singleton's going to run the ball. I think this Penn State team is going to force a couple turnovers against Kyle McCord. And Ryan Day has lost some big games. He was lucky against Notre Dame. He didn't lose that Notre Dame game, but he's lost some big games. Those 2 big games to Michigan. He lost a big game. He got crushed in a big game at home last year. I feel like Ohio State is good, but I don't think it's as great as it's been in the Urban Meyer days. I really don't. And I think this is a spot where Penn State gets them. I think they get them here. I think Penn State goes to 7-0, and I think they get them here. I got the Nittany Lions win. I think this is going to be Franklin's second win against Ohio State in 10 years. The only one was in 2016 where he had that block field goal with Grant Haley, but I think they get him here. I think Penn State gets him here. I think they win 27-24 over the Buckeyes. But Justin, the big question is can Ohio State continue their dominance over Penn State?
I have the same score as you, but I'm taking the Buckeyes. James Franklin 1-11. Yeah, I do 1-11 just kind of scares me. They have not been great.
You mean 1-8? You mean 1-8 against them?
1-8 against Ohio State, and I think he's 1-11 against top 10 opponents.
And he's never won in the horseshoe. He's never won in the horseshoe.
Yeah, I know he always keeps these games with Ohio State very close. He doesn't usually get blown out in these tight, with Ohio State. But I just, the thing is, I kind of, we were talking a little about this game pre-show. Who can make those explosive plays? Penn State really hasn't attempted that all year.
That was an issue. That reporter asked that question. Now, it was a totally long-winded, stupid question the reporter asked James Franklin. But he's kind of true. Yeah, they've definitely had trouble creating big plays. And in this kind of game, they got to make big plays.
Yeah, they do. The first play last week against Penn State, they attempted to go deep in the rain, in the cold, but I think Aller checked it down. I think it ended up being a check down, and I think it ended up being incomplete anyways. I think because both defenses are really, really good. And I think both teams are going to struggle to sustain drives in this game. And I think the explosive plays are going to be big. And I think Ohio State hits a couple more than Penn State does. Because, I really haven't seen Drew Aller air it out. So, I don't know how he is on a deep ball. I don't really know. I don't, that's why. And I think on the outside, it's Marvin Harrison versus Dante Cypress, who I know they're pretty high on coming the year, but he hasn't made a big of a impact as I think they wanted him to. So that's where I worry about Penn State in this game. And and Ohio State's really banged up. They could be down their top 3 running backs. Emeka Buke is nicked up. I don't know if he's going to play. But I think the difference too in this one could be a Cade Stover. Penn State kind of blitzes their, Ohio State's big tight end. I think he can kind of find some open space. He can be a tough guy to bring down. I think, that could be Kyle McCord's big kind of safety blanket in this game. At the Horseshoe, I could see Penn State winning. Penn State, this is the year they want to win even though Michigan right now is just an absolute juggernaut. But Penn State, James Franklin want to win this Big Ten. This is the year to kind of pick them off. And I think Al's gonna be a very good quarterback. I just haven't seen him in a big spot, or he's played well when he's had to, in that Iowa game, that West Virginia game, he made some plays, but I haven't seen him in a deep ball threat. We really haven't seen him in a tough road environment yet. I still have more question marks right now about Aller than, even though Kyle McCord's not great either, but at home, I think Marvin Harrison can make the difference in this one.
Yeah, the Marvin Harrison thing is going to be big because if they were able to run the ball, that's been the key. If they're able to run the ball, Penn State can pretty much double Marvin Harrison. They could double him and pretty much take him out of the game. But if Ohio State's able to run the ball, then that's going to open things up for Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison's key because he's definitely the best player on this team. So if Penn State can stop the run, that's a big key because then they could double Marvin Harrison and pretty much do what Notre Dame did, pretty much take him out of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they keep him out, that'd be huge, especially if Buka doesn't play. But last week, Ohio State 5-star freshman kind of stepped up, and Cardell Tate. It's no surprise. That's the guy that if they shut down Marvin Harrison and Buka can't go, that's kind of the guy that I think Penn State's got to pay attention to. Fleming's pretty good as well, but I think Tate kind of had a really good game against Purdue. He had 80 receiving yards. That's the guy too that they, true freshman. Ohio State have another big wide receiver step up. But both teams, I think it's a great point too, because both teams, can they run the football in this game? Ohio State's has had their problems. Penn State's done pretty well, but again, the level of competition has not been there yet. So it's a huge test for them, and that's kind of what they've been building up to here, But look, they played, their offense did pretty well against Iowa. And Iowa's got a pretty good defense. I think Ohio State's is a little bit better than Iowa's. But look, I think Penn State's got a really good shot in this one. But at home, I just think the Buckeyes right now, I'll take them, but win by a field goal.
And which quarterback do you trust more in this environment, Drew Aller or Kyle McCord? I'm going to say Drew Aller. Because I just think he's a better player than Kyle McCord. And Kyle McCord is more of a game manager. I know we haven't seen Drew Aller make plays, but I think he has potential to make plays. So I'm going to take Drew Aller.
Yeah, that's a good point because he's got the potential. I'll go the other way and take McCord. I want to see Aller do it. I do think Sean Clifford was a good quarterback. He could not get you that next level. I do think Drew Aller's got that potential to take you to the next level. This is going to be the game to kind of show you, does he have it or not? And I think he does. At home, though, I'm going to take McCord. I like his weapons better than I do Penn State's. And, because, I don't know, Penn State-wise, too, I don't know, they really have not seen a wide receiver core they're about to see with Ohio State either.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And I think, that's going to be key, too. But, with McCord, there's some throws this year where I'm going, it's not there yet. The timing's not down there yet. But, you saw in the Notre Dame game, if you give him time, he can kind of pick you apart. But if you get in his face and pressure him, he will struggle, and he's prone to making that mistake. So, Ohio State, with McCord, it's been a big downgrade, and I think the way Stroud's played at the NFL level too is kind of a big part of it. He's looked really good, and he's been, he's been awesome. So, McCord's made one mistake. Aller hasn't made many. So, it's definitely going to come down to kind of, what quarterback makes the less mistakes as well adds to the explosive plays.
Absolutely. So we will move to the game in Tuscaloosa as Tennessee faces Alabama, and I think this is a close, competitive game. A lot of the games have been this year with Alabama, but if Tennessee couldn't go into the swamp and win and beat Florida, I don't think they're going to beat Alabama and win. I know the game will be close. I think Milton will play better than he did in the swamp, but I think Jalen Milroy will manage this game. Bama's defense with Dallas Turner will make a play at the end, and I got Bama winning 27-20, but Justin, can Tennessee hand Bama their second loss of the year and keep their playoff hopes alive?
No, I got the Tide as well in this one, 31-20. Joe Milton, I've really kind of lost all confidence in him. He can't hit the deep shot, and that's kind of the problem. They rely on that explosiveness. They can't really hit it right now, and they ran the ball really well last week against A&M, but you're gonna have a very tough time doing that this week against an Alabama defensive front that's gonna kind of slow that down. And I don't think Milton's gonna make enough plays. He's been banged up too, I feel like, and I think that's part of it why he hasn't played as well. Tennessee may be down one of their better offensive linemen as well in this game, which is gonna hurt. I feel like, and with Bama, they kind of sleptwalked last week against Arkansas. They didn't play great. Jalen Milroe actually has like the second highest passing or QB efficiency right now in the SEC behind Jaden Daniels. Like he's played, like he's starting to, he hit a couple deep shots last couple weeks. Like I think they're starting to kind of get in a rhythm a little bit offensively. And there's not too many times where we kind of talk about Alabama and the revenge angle. And I think that's kind of key here in this one.
Exactly.
And I think Bama's
last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting when they play
LSU
LSU and Tennessee. Yeah. When they play Tennessee and LSU, that's going to be the big revenge, and they're at home in both those games.
Yeah, that's huge, and that's coming up too. Bama's got the bye to that, and then they got LSU. That's probably going to be that SEC late night game, 8:00 kick. But I would assume, but yeah, Alabama last year in this game, that's 16 penalties. They can't do that again. That's unsafe. Like, and actually, the last thing going back about Tennessee's offense is you're seeing more this year of teams kind of the way Georgia defended them last year with the later box and kind of daring them to run, or daring them to kind of run the football, not take those big shots. And I think that's the same thing that Bama's going to do. I think Saban's going to make sure of that. And I don't think Tennessee's offense is going to be great. Tennessee's defense is a lot better, but their offense is definitely taking a few steps back this year.
Absolutely. So we got a Pac-12 matchup in Eugene as Washington State faces Oregon. Washington had a terrible loss last week to Arizona. Oregon, we all know what happened with them. They were very close to beating Washington, probably the game of the year, but Dan Lanning made some very questionable calls to probably cost them that game. So, but in this game, I think this will be Oregon easy. Washington State couldn't beat Arizona. I can't see them competing against Oregon. I think Drew Bo Nix has a huge day. I got Oregon cruising 42-14. Justin, I assume you got the same.
Yeah, unfortunately for Wazoo right now, there are so many injuries, and they just don't have the depth to compete right now. And the other thing is too, the book's kind of out on them as well. Like if you just drop 8 and only bring 3, they can't really run the football, and they don't really attempt to run the football. And I think they're gonna struggle going down to Eugene. And I think Oregon wins this game big, like 45-20. I think Washington State, Cam Ward's going to have another rough one. I think Bo Nix and that offense kind of play well yet again. And Washington State's offense, I think, is going to have another rough one. And their defense, Bucky Irving, too, for the Ducks, I think is going to run all over this Cougars defense.
We got a matchup in the SEC East as South Carolina travels to Missouri. And I think this is a good game early on, but I think Brady Cook outplays Spencer Rattler. And I got Missouri winning this one 35-24. But Justin, can Rattler end Missouri's playoff hopes? Kentucky couldn't last year. Can Rattler last week? Can Rattler do it this week?
I don't think they will. I think they keep it close. I got the Tigers 31-27. It's like South Carolina's 2-4. They lose this game, they'll be 2-5. They don't have any shot at the bowl game. It'll be a losing season. So like,
should Shane Beamer be on the hot seat? Should Shane Beamer be on the hot seat?
No, they gave him an extension, so I don't think he is. I think he's done a good job. That's a tough job to win at. Like Spurrier is the really only one that's had any success there. I don't think yet. Like I think next year they go 4-8, 5-7 again. I think you will see him. But some very questionable comments after the game. Blame kind of everybody else besides him. Like kind of blame players. Like kind of didn't really say, bad coaching, but bad execution, kind of bad this. And then he was so frustrated after the game, I guess he broke his foot after trying to kick
Oh
something.
my
And
God, wow.
so it's, that doesn't help his case either here. But Rather's played really well this year. But Graham Mertz had 423 yards last week against the South Carolina defense. Luther Bird and Brady Cook are going to have a field day. Graham Mertz has actually been decent, but you can't let Graham Mertz, and he had a game-winning touchdown drive. He did whatever he wanted against this Gamecocks defense. Their secondary is brutal. Luther Burden is going to have a huge day.
All right, we got Minnesota heading to Iowa in a Big Ten matchup. And I think this was a low-scoring game, just the game Iowa wants. Low-scoring where they could run the football and play defense, and they win. I got them winning at 20-10, but Justin, can Minnesota stay in the race to win the Big Ten West?
It'll be very difficult. They got a chance. I got Iowa 13-7. The over-under is down to 31.5 points, and I would not take that over. I think it's going under.
Wow, that's crazy.
Iowa, this morning they lost Eric All, their tight end, who is their big receiver. They're down now 3 tight ends. Cade McNamara is out. They got Deacon Hill as their starting quarterback, and he's like the late Jared Lorenzo. He's a big 6'5", like 260 quarterback. He can't throw a spiral. Every ball is a wobbler. It's bad. 2 weeks ago, they had their wide receivers had 0 catches. This past weekend against Wisconsin, they had 2. They had 1 explosive running play that was for an 80-yard touchdown run. This is gonna be low scoring. Minnesota's defense is pretty good. I think Iowa's defense is gonna score a touchdown in this one. It's the Battle of Rosedale for the Pig Trophy here. I got Iowa winning a very low scoring one. It's the passing offenses too. They're 131 in the country. Iowa's 130th and Minnesota's 131st.
Wow.
The only worst team is Air Force.
That's crazy.
It's bad.
And all they do is run.
Yep. Both teams. You're gonna see a lot of kind of they're gonna take football back about 60 years.
And there's a reason both these teams cannot compete for a national title in 2023.
No, it'll be very interesting to see how these guys do when
because
Oregon
the one
and
game
Washington.
Iowa lost was 31-0 to Penn State.
Yeah, they're going to be in the Big Ten. They could go 11-1 and play.
I know, and get destroyed the Big Ten championship game to Penn State, Ohio State, or Michigan.
Yeah, but
they won't come within like 3 touchdowns against either of those 3 teams.
No, like with Michigan's defense, like they had 80 yards against Penn State. Like now you may have to face Michigan, who's probably the best team. Oh, that's gonna be ugly. They get shut out like 31. Like the Penn State game, be 31.
Yeah,
exactly. If they somehow win that game,
yeah,
they could somewhat be be in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like they wouldn't probably, but they need some crazy. But yeah. Bill Parker, their D coordinator, deserves a statue.
Yes, absolutely. Now moving on to an SEC matchup in Auburn as Ole Miss faces Auburn. I think Auburn stays in it early, but eventually I think Jackson Dart and Junkins take over in this game. I think we see Ole Miss pull away in the second half, and I got Ole Miss winning at 34-20. But Justin, can Hugh Freeze end his former team's playoff hopes?
No, they're off so bad. I got Ole Miss 38-24, and Ole Miss backup is Spencer Sanders. And my kind of theory is Hugh Freeze kind of, I think, knew Jackson Dart was going to be the starter, but didn't want Hugh Freeze to get Spencer Sanders because they really desperately need a quarterback badly. Because Peyton Thorne and Riley Ashford are not great. Like they really showed the score against LSU's putrid offense or putrid defense. I think at night game at Jordan Hare, they kind of keep this thing, as you said, close for a half, but Ole Miss coming off the bye, kind of get healthy. I think Jackson Dart does enough in this one. Auburn's kind of front. Can they, slow Ole Miss down enough? I don't think so. And I just don't think Auburn's going to be putting enough points. It's kind of going to, not be as ugly as last week, but Ole Miss is going to run that up-tempo stuff, and I don't think Auburn's going to be able to keep up.
Got the Battle of Michigan between Michigan and Michigan State, and this should be a total blowout. Michigan should win this game big, should run the ball all over Michigan State, should force turnovers. I think this game is going to be a total blowout. I got Michigan 49-10 over Michigan State.
Oh, I could see it. I got 38-10, but I was thinking this morning that incident last year in the tunnel where the Michigan State guy was swinging the helmet. Not, I could see Harbaugh trying to really put it on Michigan State this week to kind of send a message. So I could see it. D'Antonio, he's like a special advisor or whatever. Like he covered 10 straight as the Spartan coach at one point, but the Sparty blew an 18-point last week against Rutgers. Like I could see this game.
Who's even the coach of the Spartans right now?
Their D coordinator, what's his name? He's been there even under Mark D'Antonio.
Oh, gotcha.
So he's been there a while.
Yeah.
But I forget his name. But I could see this game. This is the game where Michigan State just absolutely flat out quits. I could see maybe a half, like it's 17-10. But other than that, Sparty's got no chance. JJ McCarthy, that offense right now, they're playing their defensive line. Like it's like Georgia last couple weeks. They're just rotating guys in and out, and they're all NFL potential guys. Yeah. Michigan, I think, rolls in this one up in East Lansing.
Got a top 25 matchup in the ACC as Duke travels to Florida State to play the Seminoles. And I don't think this game's close. I don't care who plays quarterback. I don't think this game is close. I think Florida State is clearly the better team with Coleman, with Jordan Travis. I think they dominate this game. I got Florida State winning this one big, 38-17. But Justin, can Duke hand Florida State their first loss of the year?
No, I got the Seminoles rolling 34-14. Ryan Leonard practice week's been throwing the football around, but the thing about Leonard is it's his big kind of threat is with his legs. And with that ankle injury, that was bad. Like, I'm surprised he's kind of even back up and practicing already. Like that looked like it was going to be even worse. But I don't think he's being 100%. He had a limp last week when I was kind of, when they're showing him warming up last week. If he's not mobile, I think Florida State's or Duke's gonna have a tough time moving the ball around in this one. Florida State too was like they were blitzing up 38-3 last week in Syracuse. Johnny Wilson, Keon Coleman, I think they have huge days. And the top cornerback for Duke last week, he got banged up late in that game, and you could kind of see him tapping the helmet at a he kind of. So if they're down their top corner too, I see Florida State or Duke having a tough time containing with the Seminoles in this one.
All right, we got a big one in the Pac-12 between Utah and USC. And I think this game, I think USC is finally going to beat Utah because I think of the quarterback play. I know he played terrible last week against Notre Dame, but I think he bounces back this week and he gets a win. I got USC beating Utah 31-24. But Justin, can Utah continue to have their success against USC?
Yeah, I'm taking the team who actually seems serious about playing football right now.
You do not like USC at all.
No, I don't. I'm out on this team. I thought they were just kind of messing around the first couple weeks, because they haven't played well a year. But I thought, okay, they're kind of saving it for the Notre Dame game. This team they're unserious. It looks like playground football, like what they're doing. Like Utah's going to get after Caleb Williams. You kind of saw the blueprint. You put pressure on him, he'll make a couple mistakes. Utah will do that. Yeah, Utah's got no. Cam Rising, I think he's sitting out. Like it sounds like he's getting advice from his parents and doctors, like just go to the NFL draft, which I don't. He's got to raise his stock. Like in this QB class, he's a day 3 guy, but it's his choice. So but look, and Utah's a more physical team. USC is pathetic up front. I said it last week. Lincoln Riley cares more about speed than he does strength. Utah is going to bully them up front yet again, and I think Utah keeps it. I could see Utah in this game having a 10-minute drive, keeping Caleb Williams off the field. I think Utah makes this thing ugly. Zykeer Branch, the kick return, or punt return he had, he's electric. I could see him making a couple big plays, and that's the other Lincoln Riley too. I've learned 2 over the weekend. He doesn't have a special teams coach. Like this guy is just He's kind of like Cliff Kingsbury to me a bit because this team's not prepared. Wow. He's a little bit better of an in-game manager, I feel like, but I don't know, it just kind of feels like a carbon copy of Cliff Kingsbury. Really offensive mind, but everything else, they're just poor. And he is his QB coach. Cliff Kingsbury is a QB coach, so it makes sense that those two are on the same page, but or on the same staff. But so USC seems serious. I'm not taking them. I'm not taking them in a game like this. I'm just not.
Wow. Going with the Utes there. So we'll see what happens there. But we're going to wrap the show talking about the WNBA Finals. Aces lead the Liberty 2-1. If the Aces win tonight in New York, they close it out. And I think they do. I think they do with Asia Wilson and Kelsey Plum. I think the Aces win their second straight WNBA championship, and this would be the 5th time the Liberty have lost in the NBA Finals. So they beat Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionesco. So, Justin, you think it goes a 5th game, or do you think the Aces close it out tonight?
Yeah, I'll go with a 5th game. I think Liberty will get it done at home tonight. I think the Aces are missing one of their better players, Chelsea Gray. I think she's going to be out tonight too. So, yeah, I think Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionesco do enough at Game 4, and I think they force a Game 5 back over in Vegas on Sunday. So, yeah, I'll take the Liberty to send it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. It'll be very, very interesting to see what happens there. But that is going to wrap it up on Sports Talk with RJ. For Justin D'Onofrio, I'm Steve Risser. We will be back next week talking about Week 8 of the NFL season, doing our World Series preview, our NBA season preview, and talking about Week 9 of the college football season. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach of college basketball, hands down.
Vince 2 for 3. He's done his part. Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
They're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group, and here at CMG we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men, and great true crime shows like Stinky Meek, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.